I went from being super lost to things going super chaotic, super fast. God damn it. Here we go. We made some progress. I'll need to go find the third jewel. And then I'll put them all. Oh yeah, no. I don't want to go here. I want to get back to that mansion area. Because there's a spot I kept ignoring because of all the bugs. You'll see why. I just heard a lot of screech, a lot of I'm not looking forward to this area. Wait, it's not here. No, it's not here. Here we go. Store. Yeah. And I'm at orange caution. So if I come across a strong monster, I'll die in one hit. Which is a very likely scenario. A lot of bugs. Lots of bugs. Oh, cutscene. That's the thing I was looking at from up top. That was a nest. That was a bug nest. I knew it. A wing object. Ah. Oh god. Please don't tell me. I'm in danger. I'm gonna die. I'm crawling. Health! Green. I really have no other... You know what? I'll risk it. I'll risk it. I'll just go through this door. Oh no. My controller is vibrating. That took a long time. Okay. Ooh. All right, we can take a break. But I'm not comfortable about the pulsating door. That usually means some sort of boss, some sort of run situation. Virus report. War continues on the T. Veronica virus. T. Veronica virus, which I extracted from the Queen Ant. The more research I conduct on it, the more I am impressed by how much potential it has. I have finally implanted the virus into my own body and discovered how to utilize its power. I will avoid making the mistakes that I made on my father. Okay, yeah, so it is Alexia that's made this report. I will suppress the activity of the virus at an ultra low temperature so that my cells will change slowly. My calculations will indicate that it will take 15 years before my body will gain immunity and become able to coexist with the virus. Until then, I have no choice but to trust the capsule that I will be in. to that inept but loyal soldier ant who is my brother. Inept but loyal soldier ant was my brother. Okay, that's one way to put it. For me to obtain unlimited power, some risks need to be taken. For when I awaken, I will be the queen, and the Veronica virus will be unleashed upon the entire world. The entire world by my children. Wait, and the Veronica virus will be unleashed upon the entire world by my children. Who are your children? Every last creature on Earth will exist to serve me. At that time, the world will achieve the perfect ecosystem, just like the anthill. So yeah, what we were seeing was a nest, an anthill, but on a much grander scale. Alexia Ashford, you filed the virus report. Can I interact with those things? I am crawling. I have only been given one heal. Dudes, please have mercy on me. Give me some kind of healing items. I don't want ammo. I've been saving up. I've really been saving up. I'm not touching any boards. I'm not touching any control panels. Am I seeing any herbs on the floor? Okay. Alright, fine. I'll touch the control panel. Looks there's like a puddle of blood. Fine. Something is written on it. As twins, Alexia and I are two sides of a coin. Wait. Oh yeah, this is the room that she awoke in. Did she eat her brother? I haven't seen him in a while. I kinda miss his weird laugh. A design is carved under the name of Alexia. Heart Spade AA Queen. Heart Spade AA Queen. Heart Spade AA Crown. Heart Spade AA Crown. There's a button with a design. Push the button. Heart Spade AA Crown. You've said Heart Spade AA Crown, dude. As twins, Alexia and I are two sides of a coin. Oh, two sides of a coin. So so it's like the flip. So I'm reversing that. So it's a crown, a spade, heart. So crown, a spade, heart. Two sides of a coin. Or maybe I need to do something in here? I'm in danger. Do I need to bring in the cube and put it in here in the center? Because this puzzle looked pretty easy to interpret. As twins, Alexia and I are two sides of a coin. Two sides of a coin. Do I complicate this even more? And take the cube and reverse everything? Because I don't think Resident Evil would do those kinds of complicated puzzles. Okay, I'll have to actually bring in the cube to do this. I don't know. The way they set up we're two sides of a coin means like they said AA, that means the reverse is a heart. So you're gonna have to be squishing some more bugs. Oh, there's also. Can I? What happens if I go here? What's in there? Oh, there's more herbs. There are more herbs. There are more herbs. You can combine. Chris doesn't have to suffer. He is fine now. Oh my goodness, yeah. Alright, let's see. Let's see what this door has to offer. We don't have to be stuck. I have... Oh. Oh. Die already? So what is this? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Ah! That freaked me out. Hey, come on! What is this? I really could have used. I could use the shotgun to save ammo. God, don't stop grabbing me. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I somehow escaped getting hit. Oh god, it's so dark I can't see anything. What? Computer terminal. I must have been hooked to a supercomputer. Okay. I don't think you guys can see anything. Neither can I. I really don't know. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking at. Oh, what is this? There's a file. It looks like something I can read. Research report. Research report on Queen Ant. After discovering the remains of an ancient virus within the genes of a computer ant. I have been concentrating on the research of ants. Wait, what? Remains of an ancient virus with the genes of a queen ant. I have been concentrating on the research of ants. Okay. The ecosystem of the ants seems truly ideal to me. There is one queen ant in each anthill, and the soldier and worker ants are the queen's slaves. They dedicate their lives to the queen. The death of the queen ant means the doom of the entire... Wait, what? Well, where did I stop reading? I kind of broke down for a second. Okay, here we go. However, the soldier and worker ants can be easily replaced as long as the queen ant is alive. This is exactly the same relationship between myself and the other ignorant masses. I have succeeded in creating an ideal virus by implanting the Queen Ant's gene into Mother Virus that Spencer found. Wait, who's Spencer again? Spencer. Is he a butler? Is he a Butler Spencer? Is he one of the crazy scientists? I used my otherwise useless father as a test subject. However, as I expected, the virus caused a rapid change in his cells, triggering the complete destruction of his brain cells and body flesh. Furthermore, a special type of poison gas generated inside his body that the blue herb had no effect against. Because of this, I created an antidote in case of emergency and stored it inside of the weapon chemical warehouse on the B2 floor. I decided to name this virus with unimaginable potential the T Veronica virus. When I find out how I can utilize the power of this wonderful virus, my great research will finally be complete. Yeah, I guess this is the section for if Claire gets poisoned. And Chris has to and Chris has to save her. Stop! Don't get sunlocked, please. It's just bugs. Okay. Okay. We're good. Oh. I don't know why, but I find it strange that the answer to the puzzle doesn't use any of the symbols of the biohazard nor umbrella. Anyways, okay, no, I think I'll need to use a pen and paper for this. Alright, let's try this. Push the button. Which button? I'll try A. And then the crown. And then the heart. And then the spade. Oh! So I was taking the cubes and then flipping them over. Appears I should put something in here. Alright, guess we're taking this in. Goodbye! Alright. Oh, that's where you've been, dude! Hey! Hello! Are you... Okay. Okay, can you give me a second, please? I'm gonna refill all my ammo, just in case. No hard feelings. Alright? He's probably dead. But he was born in an unnatural manner, so there's always a chance that he's not dead. Let's see if I can pick up his... Okay, it is a jewel. Please stay dead. Please stay dead until I leave. I do not have any heals. Okay, good. Good. I can go to that painting. Here we go. My health. My health is so dead. I'm gonna die in one hit. Okay, Okay, I heard multiple. Yeah. Yes, I can run away. Yes. Alright, I see the file on the chair, but let me check the corners, just in case. There are some herb. I want some herbs. Please give me some herbs. Yes! Yes! Thank you, thank you, thank you, game. Okay, game, why are you giving me 2 herbs? And ammo? I saw the ammo in the corner of my eyes. Are we close to the final boss? I see you. I see you, game. Code Veronica, report. After many long years of research, I finally identified the inheritance element that administers the intelligence of man. I even succeeded in manipulating the absolute value of intelligence artificially by recomposing the base alignment of the element. Wait, what? What the hell is that? What the hell is the base alignment of what element? Then sample the gene of our great ancestor. What's our great ancestor? Manipulated its element. What is its element? Then implanted it its unfertilized egg of a surrogate mother. What I didn't expect was that twins. Okay, it's those weird twins. That's why they were weird. That's why they were weird. A boy and a girl were born. The boy had higher intelligence than normal, but not high enough for him to be considered a genius. However, the girl had a matched intelligence that easily allowed her to be classified as a genius. She was exactly what I had been looking for, the revival of our great ancestor. I already determined that their names... the girl's name Alexia and the boy's name Alfred. I'm certain that Alexia will elevate the name of the Ashford family to extreme glory. Alexander. Okay, I don't know why I gave Alexander such a weird accent, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, whoever I've insulted with this accent. Yeah. Alright, I got the file. I got this. I'm seeing some... Oh wait, I'm at a top floor. Okay, I'm seeing some stairs. Oh, wait. Before I go up, I have a feeling up is the way forward. I can use this to go down. I wanted to run. I pressed the wrong button. Give me a second. Give me a second. Ammo! Even though I'm not really using... Oh, I'm seeing more ammo. Some kind of control panel. I'm seeing the ammo on top of the... Yeah, here we go. Shotgun! Yes. I'm barely getting shotgun. I see button. I see button. I push button. If I picked it up, would that trigger something and not be able to progress further? Or... Okay, nah, I think I should be fine. I should be fine. Yeah. Okay, good. I was kind of worried. Lock the door? Where am I? Oh. I'm in the... okay, I know where I am. I'm gonna end up in this room. Oh. I'm gonna meet up with Claire. Did I pick up everything I need? I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go off. Do I have everything I need? I'm a caution. Let's combine these. I have the shotgun. Let me use this. And open the door. Fine. What? Die already. No, I'm not wasting my shotgun ammo. What the hell? Huh? What the hell? Okay. I want to get my... I'll get my item box. And get access to this. I want to see what this shotgun shelf opens up. Come on. Come on, you know what this is for. Put it up. Just ammo? Really? I've been saving so much ammo though. Okay, I won't say no. It's even more ammo, I guess. Is there anything else? That's it? Okay. Yeah, take more. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Anything else? Oh yeah, what kind of... Oh. Oh yeah, they're all at Claire's inventory. Okay. I was scared for a second. Yeah, I'll just put them there. Maybe I'll need them. But then again, I might... Do I need them? Do I not? Do I need them? Do I not? I'll take them with me, fine. I'll take them with me. I'll take them with me! Ah! There you go. Fine, let's go. I'll also equip a weapon. I have. Combine. We're ready. We're fine. And... let's go. Let's meet up with Claire. And open up that emergency door. That was on top of the...
Claire? Is that you, Claire?
Chris?
No! The door won't open. Hey, is Steve with you?
Steve,
Yeah.
Listen, Claire. We have to get out of here immediately. Can you unlock it from the inside?
No, I can't.
I don't...
There should be a self-destruct system somewhere. If you activate it, all the electronic locks might be deactivated.
Okay. Okay. I have this. Okay. Why are you here? Dude. Okay. Oh, dude, die. Something on this side. The emergency. It's not on here, but I thought you need 2 people to activate it. It's locked. There's a hollow in the shape of a dragonfly. But I've read this. There's no need to use it now. Check. Something needs to be cut inside. Check it. Emergency card was among the file. Okay. Emergency card. Can I get the card to use it here? This is the dragonfly. I just need the 5th part. Combine it with the Let's see. Can I use this? Okay, I can't use it here. I'll need to use the card somewhere else first. The statue! Come on, let's finish the game! Today! Check the map. Why did I not? Oh, okay. I run away from the zombies. That's why I didn't check that path. Okay. Uh-oh. Equip. Let's see. They destroy a skull. I destroyed his head. Ooh, herbs! 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 Heals! Oh no! Yes! Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yes! I get some heals! Can I pick up anything in here? Anything hidden? Anything at all? Okay, wait. Oh, before you get too close. I got over 100. I can just use these. I don't want to waste my yummy shotgun. Shut up. Get up, get down. Get back down. Okay, what about the doors? Let's combine these. All right. Okay, I'm gonna clear out this corridor. I got a lot of ammos. I've been saving up, so I might as well. Oh, don't refill. Don't reload. Nothing useful. Yes. Drawers? Key? Biohazard key. Huh? Anything else? I see you. Yeah, I see you, Veronica. Any other... Shotgun shells, yeah! Okay, item box. Anything else? Nothing useful. Okay. I'm not liking the badass music still playing. I have a feeling I'm getting very close to the end. Only useless. Okay. Okay, wait. Wait. Check. Biohazard symbol. Yeah. Oh. Key door. Okay. The music stopped. I know this room. Okay, now the ants make sense. The ant jewels make sense. Oh, that was just weird. Okay, we're back to the badass music again. Where are we? Oh wait, wrong button. Oh, we're back to the same. Okay. We can just use this path. We can use that path. Push it somewhere. I don't know. The crack wants me to push it. I've been struggling for so long, and I even pushed it there once. Alright, fine. I guess I'm already done. I'm already done with this area, and now you're giving me the map? Why are you giving me a map inside a puzzle? You assholes. I did not need the map. I'm kind of done with this place already. Damn it. Damn it. Over here, they probably expect me to backtrack. Wait, what is this? There's a switch. Push? extinguishment. I didn't get the extinguisher. I missed out on it, sadly. Okay, so I need to solve this music box. I am not solving this music box puzzle properly. I have solved it. Based on the cube puzzle, they've gone an extra mile with the level of puzzle making in the game, so I should not underestimate them. So what should I do? Huh? Oh! Spray! It's been a while since I've seen a spray. Yeah! Oh. Now return to the safe room. Turn off the power. When you turn off the power, the tiger will not rotate. That's why you can take... It was kind of hinting at you by saying that there's an electrical thingy. Yeah, I've kind of been streaming. I've kind of been streaming for 6 hours and a half. I'm definitely running out of juice. That's why I'm not really games that have puzzles should not be streamed with long times like this. Oh, okay. Oh no. I'm not opening the cola right now. Just press. I got diagnosed too. Give me. Give me both. Yes. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. This took way too fucking long. The power. Again. I'll see. I'll see. Why did you come back? Come on, go. Why did you get back here, bastards? I have enough. Oh god, no, don't. Are their heads flinging from their bodies? Okay. My orange health. I don't like it. One hit. It's gonna kill me. Take it. Yes, I know. use it. Yo, I need to get ready. Max. Wing. Okay, before I go, I'll go save. Let's go. Progress. Pulsating ladder. Pulsating ladder. I'm seeing portraits with the teacups. I'm guessing these are all the ancestors. Veronica. Finally! The dragonfly! This is what I'll be using the wings to attach it to. Come on, please. Of course. Window. I'm waiting for you to break. Come on. Nothing useful here. That's the Alexander. He's the family's humiliation. Why did he? Did I miss something on the? Did I miss something that happened here? Something happened while I was picking. Why is the camera fixated on this angle? Why is nothing happening here? I'm kind of more scared now. Okay, fine. Fine. I got the gold dragonfly. Let's go. It's when I go down the ladder that something's gonna happen now. No? This was way too easy. I'm scared now. They're stockpiling this. I think something way scarier is gonna happen soon. I'm not looking for. Oh wait, where do I go? Punk. Here we go. Use. Unlock the door. Here we go. How many people? Oh. Ow, come on. Oh, I got his face. I think. Where am I? Okay, there's a terminal. Here's the release for the self-destruct system. Use security card. No, not yet. Using the security card will unlock everything. Let me get this herb. I wanna explore downstairs first. Because I have a feeling the moment I open everything, everything will go crazy. Okay. Those look like lockers. Like, can I not open them? Am I not reading the map right? No, wait. Map. I will not stop until I finish this game. Yes, use the card. Put the security card in the card slot. This and security code. Security code. If I remember, I think the file says something is like the security code is the name of the code Veronica. Yeah? This keyboard being ABCD and not QWERTY is really annoying. Oh. Verification in progress. Please wait. Code has been confirmed. Yes! Let's go. Mm-hmm.
This facility will detonate in 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Are now unlocked.
Alright. I think we're finally gonna be. Oh, there's an actual 5 minutes timer. It's not like 5 random minutes. Oh. I actually have to leave. No. Oh no. No!
You made it!
Of course. Come on, let's get out of here.
The nest. Tentacles. The tentacles are laying eggs. The tentacles are laying eggs. They're laying in Alexandria. Oh no, not Alexandria. Alexia.
Okay, turn the key clockwise simultaneously on 3.
Got it.
One, 2, 3.
I don't know why this boss kind of reminds me of Parasite Eve final boss.
I'll keep her busy. Just go for the emergency elevator.
Goddamn.
I can take care of this.
I can't wait.
Go.
Get ready,
You
guys.
have to make it. Don't die on me.
Oh, go. Oh. Do. They really do not have any chill. The moment the cutscene ends, someone just dies. I'm playing Parasite Eve 2 around December. Like basically, it's gonna be the Christmas game for this channel. I can see that Eve's designs were way better though. Yeah, they have like a little more frills. While Resident Evil tried to go with the scientific approach. Oh, we're starting from here. No, it's not too far. Not too far. But I have to do the Veronica. Okay, I have to do something. Just one shot? I don't think that's how pregnancy works. They're really going all out. What is that? Get away, tiny tentacles! You. Combine. Also, I know I have the shotgun, but where's Claire? She had the more badass weapons. Whoopsie. Oh god. Why is she giving birth to tiny tentacle monsters? Let me beat you ass. Where are you, Claire? Oh, come on, dude, stop it. Oh god. I'm poisoned. Okay, I need to end this fast somehow. Oh. Stop it! Stop messing me up! I do not have the mobility to deal with all of that. I have tank controls. I have fucking tank controls. Shotgun works better if I'm close. Close by. What? Oh, I'm dying. That's okay. Combine. Am I supposed to stand here? Run away. Oh! Stop it! Oh, whoa. I died. I got stun locked by the tiny tentacles. But what's the point of this? Oh! There's something there. Herb! I can actually... Yeah! Here you go! I get an extra heal! Yes! Okay. We can get... We can have an extra life. Oh my god. Okay, I have no heals. I just get overwhelmed. The shotgun does nothing. I can't get close to do maximum damage. I'm dead. She just pukes. She pukes on me and smacks me. Ha. god! No, 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 no. Okay. Oh! I must defeat this monster. Aid. What if I stayed far away? Oopsie. Oh, Data! I did not heal in time again. And again. And again 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 and again. You're gonna die, Alexia. We're not gonna let Claire talk. I'm sorry, Claire. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, heal, 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 heal. Oh. Combine. 2. 2. It's okay. Just 5. Yes. Can I heal? Use. Yes. All right. I'm done. Oh. Oh, come on, come on, come on. I'm doing better. I'm doing better. I actually don't have enough ammo. I don't have enough ammo to do this. Do I have a save with Claire from earlier? I have. Yeah, she doesn't really need anything. Yeah, true. Because the last fight was with Steve, I didn't need anything beyond heals. So I could just keep the grenade launchers. But I think I oversaved. I have Chris and Chris. 28. I got 45 and 46. 46 was the one that's just right before. 28 is probably... '28 is the cave. 28 is the cave. Is when I first got a Chris. The walkthrough says use a magnum. I don't have the magnum. That's the thing. Not staying in the same place for very long. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Yep. No. They don't really. There's not much you can do. It's just like do more damage. Yeah. I think I just did a really bad job at playing the game. I did. Yeah, I got stuck. I kept getting hurt a lot. It feels weird that I'm kind of like almost soft locked by the game. 45 save. Maybe I can. This is mixed herb. This is the same mixed herb I had from earlier. Come on. Do not take any damage. Come on! Come on! No! Don't take damage! God, for fuck's sake. It's... fuck you. I'm limping. I'm limping. You saw nothing. You guys saw nothing. We are going to fuck. Did I just skip the room? Did I skip the room by mistake? Come on, brain, work, please. Use dragonfly. Really? Okay, this was more ammo. I won't say no to ammo. Yes. 69. All right. Oh. Herbs. Did I pick those the first time?
This facility will detonate in 5 minutes. All doors are now unlocked.
I got everything prepared. I got more heals now.
You made it.
Alrighty. Get the fuck away from my sister, you bitch. Come at me. Oh. Okay. So shooting with the handgun is enough to trigger to save Claire. Okay. Good to know. And my caution. So let's just use the herb. Am I hitting her? I'm at caution and orange caution. Okay, I'll heal. Oh, I'm safe. I'm fine. Combine. I'll aim at her main body. Okay. Run. Ho 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 ho. I don't think I'm hitting her. Oh, I'm poisoned. Combine. It's okay. Okay. He's grabbing his stomach. That means he's in danger. No, if he's in danger, I'll use the full heal. Oh, 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 oh. Heal, 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 grab, go, calm down, calm down. Oh, 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 oh. Chill. Okay, I'm free a little bit. Ah. I survived. I survived, but I don't have enough power to destroy her. I had enough heals. I did not have enough. Let me see. Let me check actual walkthroughs. What kind of damage do I need? Is it possible that I can actually do it with the things I have? 16. It's as clear. This is before Chris, so I can definitely save. Oh. Let's see. What is this? Where am I? Got the luck picks at least. King Ants? The army proof? Biohazard card? Oh, this is a while back. Yeah, it is! This is a while back. You know what? I'm not doing this off stream. I'm gonna do this on stream next week. I'm gonna have to. I'm not suffering through this alone. and because I'm replaying this, I'll take as much backseating as I can. I'll have a big font backseat allowed over my head. Hey, remember, fighting naked tyrants isn't that bad with the BOW gas. And the explosive arrows. Yeah, I remember. I think that's the way I used. I think I used two of these rounds. Ooh, I used 2 of these rounds, so I was able to save 1 and 6 of the explosive arrows. So I saved 1, and I can use it if I was able to save. I can use 1 of those for the final boss.